Well, the decision to retire is a complicated one, and it's one I've never really understood until about a year and a half ago. But there's an accumulation of signs for me that all add up to this being the right time, and no singular event or condition has anything to do with it. You know, I've worked here 29 years. I don't need a lot of reasons to walk out the door. I've met the requirement for retirement. I've had a long time. I've spent more time working here than I've not worked here. And so that's a long time. And I've given the best 30 years of my life to this job, and now I'm going to start focusing on the next 30 and trying to make those good as well. The officers being shot in 2011 was definitely the lowest point of my career. And one, I think it was a low point for the entire community as well. But also, in some ways, some good has come in the way of bonding with the community and relationships and respect for what law enforcement people do. And, you know, in no way can that ever be worth it. But, you know, we've achieved a stronger relationship with the community over it, and that's something that's very important to public safety and important to our officers as well. I think the highlight for me, in the first 22 years of my career, I just felt extremely blessed every day to come to work and work in such a great job and to feel like I was making a difference. And at times, corny as it sounds, I almost felt guilty for getting paid. It was so fun just to be here. And when the opportunity came for me to be chief, I knew it would be a different ball game. I would be paying off all of that fun and the first 22 years of my career. So I don't shy away from hard work. It was and is hard work, but I think just the fact that I have brought all of my experience into the office of chief, and one of my goals was to humanize the position, to become approachable, to deal honestly in a non-political way with the community, and that's been very satisfying for me. But my enjoyment of that part of the relationship has also made me a little more sensitive to the political side of government, and I've not been silent about that. I've had a hard time watching politics replace motivations for doing the right thing sometimes. And I'm not going to tell anybody I understand politics. And everybody wants to know if I'm running for office. And I just can't answer that question now. You know, my head is appropriately clouded from 29 years of hard work and being focused on one thing, one mission for all that time, that I need a little clear air to figure out what's left in me and what my next move will be. But I can guarantee you I'm not going to rush into a field that I have been extremely frustrated by for the last several years. I think when you know it's time to retire, it's you find it on the know it when you see it criteria. But if everything that's going on in my life and my career right now were happening 10 years ago, it wouldn't affect me, because I would know there wasn't an option to retire and pass it on to the next chief. So I would find a way to dig down and deal with it. But my retirement is not in any way a sob story. It's not I am not quitting. I am leaving and walking out the front door, and I know that the department is ready for that, and they'll be ready to pick up where I left off and do a great job for the community. I'm going to have a summer vacation, the first one since I was 13. And I'm going to enjoy the summer. I'm going to relax a little bit and weigh options. You know, I have to identify what options are out there in the world for me, and then weigh them, see if they fit into my next several years of life, and act accordingly. This decision was made about 1.5 years ago. In fact, I talked to an employee the other day who said that I told them of this date vaguely 3 years ago. But so this is not my leaving is not a reaction to anything. It's a planned departure. I think the department has changed for the better over the last 6 or 7 years due to growing pains. We've had some rough times, and we have experienced a lot of turnover. Some of that turnover perhaps related to the shootings in 2011, but that has caused us to reevaluate, to prepare better, to lead our young officers in a different way. And so I think we've become stronger out of necessity. So I'm pleased that we're still giving good service in the community, that we get good community support. And all I would really like to say is to ask the community to stand behind your local law enforcement people, because that's what they are. They're people. And that's a message that I've been trying to bring out ever since I've been chief, is that we are human beings, including the type of human beings that make mistakes and say dumb things sometimes, but we're also out there doing a job that no one else wants to do. We're pursuing a mission that's in the best interest of the community, and that's, you know, if anything, my leaving will produce an opportunity for a new chapter that way, a new improved relationship with the community. We are, you know, my vision for my departure from the time I was in the news conference accepting the appointment from Mayor Hanks, I envisioned at that time my eventual departure, and how I wanted to be able to say the department was strong, would be in good hands, that anything that I could have possibly improved in my time has been done. And all those things are true. I'm gonna hand off the baton to a faster runner, and that's the way the system's designed. It's a little. I have to keep a humble outlook on everything, but my desire is for success for the community and the public servants in the community, and I've done everything I'm able to do to make that happen up to this point. There are candidates available locally within the agency. The selection process is solely that of the mayors. I have told him that I will assist in any way with the transition. I've also given him my recommendation for how to proceed, but I think it'd be unfair to make that public, since he may choose to go another path. I don't want to take that away from him. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And when it comes to race relations, I think that question really needs to be answered by the racial minorities in the community. From my view, it's better because there is less controversy. There are fewer complaints. There are more positive interactions. And we have our department members who are continually going out, and they are not targeting a race of people to either talk to or enforce laws on. But they are concentrating on treating everyone equal. And to me, that's our highest calling, to make sure that we are delivering our services, including our relationships, across the board uniformly, regardless of race, gender, other preferences. And you know, obviously you can go outside and find someone who has a different opinion about it. I think it's improved. I think at this rate it'll take several dozen more years to ever be healed, several dozen generations perhaps, But we have done and are doing all we know how to do without patronizing any group of people in the community, and that's something that I've just been real resistant to doing, is giving special treatment to any group, because I don't think it's fair in the overall scheme of policing.